Alright, pproteus here, back for the last round of this Pauper challenge. I'm 3-3, so with my breakers being decent, I will probably get my entry fee back if I win this round, and not get it back if I lose this round. And I'm going to have to fight for it, because I'm playing against Bilster. Bilster is a very good and accomplished player, usually of Izzet Delver. Izzet Delver is not my favorite matchup to be on. Turn 1 snow-covered mountain indicates that they have probably an Ash Baron's hand. But fortunately, I have kind of a good hand here, because I'm just gonna stick a tribe. And tribe plus hold up circular logic, that should probably stop my opponent from doing anything reasonably powerful. They're doing the scred, eh? Well, that's not that powerful either. I'm going to discard the tribe, because I don't think my opponent's going to be able to kill this tribe ever. Just blue-red has a hard time getting rid of it. So, oh, Radiant Mountain. That's not a normal Izzet Delver card. What's going on here? I'm going to cast Brainstorm and then use the Augur or a shuffle of some sort. I can Ash Barons. I have the Inside Out that I'm looking for. I actually want all of these cards. I think I have to shuffle away one of them. Which one is it going to be? I don't know what snow-covered mountain Radiant Fountain means. So definitely need to keep the Gush. Definitely to keep the Ash Barons, which is the second island. Definitely need to keep the Inside Out. The question is, on my turn, do I want to go Ponder, hold up Circular Logic, or do I want to go Augur Bolas? And actually, I think the answer is I want to put the Augur Bolas away, because I have no idea what's in the deck, so holding up counter magic is probably a good deal. I'm going to ponder first, just to see if I hit something valuable. I could take a Shadow Rift, but I'm going to counter a creature if my opponent plays one. So I am going to shuffle, and I'm shuffling in hope of finding a probe. This probe would probably kind of just seal the game. If I get my opponent into a situation where they cannot cast multiple spells in a turn, though, like if they don't play a land here, then I'm just going to Circular Logic, Gush, and I will accept that if my opponent has something like Gut Shot or Lava Dart, I will lose the game, but I'm not expecting any of those cards. There we go. Let's probe my opponent and see what they've got. They probably have lots of burn spells because they cast the scred on turn 1. Bolt, Archaeomancer, Moldrifter, Preordained, Seagate Oracle. So this is definitely not Izzet Delver. This is Izzet Flicker, I guess. I guess Archaeomancer is the reason you do this sort of thing. So I'm going to play my land. And here's the Inside Out. And I even have a Dispel. That is sweet. And they're helpfully casting this pre-combat, so that I have to show them even fewer cards. So go up to 5, go up to 9, 13, 17, 21, take 21. Pow. Alright, so Izzet Flicker, in theory I thought this matchup would be very good for me, but the last time I played against it I got crushed, and that was Sakura playing it, so that was a long time ago with a different player, so maybe I have no idea how good or bad the matchup is. I guess that player I think had Spell Stutters, so I don't want to play against Spell Stutter. I don't think Bilster has Spell Stutters in their deck, although it's possible. So I'm looking at the board. I think arrows is a likely card to come in against me, or like not my own arrows, but they're likely to have their own arrows. So that makes fragmentize a possibility. Otherwise, I kind of want the dispel. I could do the Stormgeist thing, but am I really gonna outvalue the Muldrifter deck? Like I don't think that's gonna happen. So I kind of just want to go +1 dispel, -1 probe, maybe even bring in a Hydroblast, take out a Shadow Rift. Oh, Piracy Charm. What does Piracy Charm do? Not much. Okay, Piracy Charm out, probe back in. Alright, let's run that. Mm-mm. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. So, taking a look at this hand, I'm going to keep it, because I do have 2 lands and 2 cantrips. But I think I'm favored to win this match now that I won the first game, but I also am not expecting this, I'm not expecting the first game to be indicative of how this matchup will play out. The first game, my opponent had a non-functional hand, and I had a very good hand. And, you know, I just can't expect to have that happen every game. But I will keep this. I will probe my opponent and see what they're holding. And hopefully I can go relatively quickly and find a tribe plus white mana plus counter magic. So let's look at my opponent's hand here. So they have a Radiant Fountain, which is annoying because I'm gonna have to discard an extra card. They have an Augur Bolas, which is annoying because they're gonna resolve that next turn, and a Seagate Oracle, but no interaction that they can actually cast. So what I need to do is I need to tap them as soon as possible. I have in mind here to Giga Drowse them, because if I tap this, then they can't cast anything on their turn. Is it worth this Giga Drowse just to buy me a turn here? I don't have any counter magic though, and I also don't have a Shadow Rift, so I'm not going to do it. It's too likely I want the Giga Drowse on my combo turn. Interesting, my opponent opted not to Radiant Fountain. They hit. I just didn't see it properly. I was about to say, oh, they missed, because I didn't see something reveal. I guess I don't know. Hit something of the same color I didn't notice. I will take a Dispel. That is a piece of counter magic. And I have white mana. So far, so good. I imagine we're going to get Seagate Oracled here. and that is not very crushing. Alright, let's cast Preordain first and then Augur second. Ooh, Circular Logic. Do I want a Circular Logic? I don't want the Plains because I have the Ash Baron, so I don't need it. I'm going to put the Circular Logic away. I'm actually going to repeat this. Just probe him again. I could have waited on the probe, but if I draw a tribe, the upside of being able to cast it right away is very high. And I hit a Ponder, which is nice, because I get to shuffle. I don't have to worry about the way I'm using my Ash Barons. I guess I was going to do that anyways. Boy, I'm getting tired. Stag is hard to play. Drives you crazy after a few rounds. So, let's see here. What's my opponent going to do? I know they have this land still, I think. Yeah, I just saw all these 6 cards. Just saw all of them. They're probably bouncing their Radiant Fountain. That doesn't take them up past a multiple of 4 mod 1. So, it's not going to force me to discard another card yet. I'm going to go Ponder Ash Barons and then see where to go from there. Shadow Rift is an important card to have, but I really just need Tribe. So I think I shuffle and I can find the Shadow Rift later. Alright, ditto. Ponder, just want to shuffle. Do I do it again? Like, I don't want to get wrecked by some kind of dumb trick. I guess I have Dispel, so it doesn't matter. Alright, never mind. I'm going to pass the turn here. Get Brainstorm. Maybe also Gush? No, that's dumb. That's greedy. Alright. Chaomancer comes down. Are you going to Ponder as well? No, it looks like they're holding up their Dispel. Do you want to Dispel my Brainstorm? Opponent does not. So I get to put 2 of those away. And then cycle Ash Barons for my land. So I guess my opponent has higher hopes for that Dispel than countering my Ancestral Recall, which is their prerogative, I suppose. Ponder into Augur, Circular Logic, Circular Logic. So I don't need another Augur. Augur just doesn't do very much at this point, other than draw me a card. I could keep a Circular Logic, but I really just want a Tribe, so I'm going to shuffle. Please find me a Tribe. Nope. I want a Tribe. I don't want any of those other cards. I will do nothing until I get what I want. Go. Well, I feel like there could have been a better set of draws for me there. It's gonna be hard to win if I don't hit a Tribe. Just one Tribe. Just one. That is a lot of mana my opponent is holding. Okay, I'm very excited to use these Circular Logics now, because I do not want to discard the hand size, and I'm planning on gushing next turn. So I will counter basically anything relevant, including a Ponder, I think. Okay, that was the land that my opponent was holding after doing that. Do I just gush here? I think this makes a lot of sense. If they Dispel, I Dispel back. Oh, hello. Tribe, I've been looking for you. Do you want to fight over this, opponent? Please fight. I don't want to discard the hand size. Counter spell. Pyroblast. That's not what I was hoping would happen. Because my opponent still has the Dispel. I'm going to Gush here. See if I can hit another Dispel. Maybe? No, I hit a Hydroblast. That's about as good. So that was the Dispel. Hopefully my opponent does not have any more counter magic. Opponent probably could have played around Hydro. By... Oh, wow. Okay, opponent has successfully defeated me on the stack. But at least I have more cards in hand than they do. If I had realized they had that many counters in their hand, I would have guessed first. But I didn't see that coming, honestly. Oh dear. My opponent has set up a loop where they now have pay 3 mana to cast Mini Impulse, or pay 3 mana to gain 2 life, or 2 mana to gain 2 life. Not super happy about that. I want them to make their decision, and then I'm going to cast Brainstorm. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to put back 2 Inside Outs. My opponent has no way of suspecting that I have 3 actually Circular Logics in my hand. So I will totally fight their flickers. I could cast... There is a little issue in that I don't have anything proactive to do, and they are liable to just do nothing. And that will be bad for me. Alright, they are not doing nothing. They are fighting, which is what I wanted. Okay, I got the flicker. Hopefully my opponent does not have... Oh, they have Snap. That is fancy. I did not expect that. They have Snap to get back their flicker. That is a sneaky piece of tech. Alright, opponent has 3 cards in hand, Electrickery, Flicker, and 1 unknown. I'm going to cast Augur and see if I can hit anything. Oh yeah, Preordain. Yeah, I like that. Let's cast Preordain. Do I want Brainstorm or Dive Down? I kind of do want Brainstorm. Brainstorm is good with Augur Bolas. Hopefully will let me do some good shuffling. Alright, opponent. Are you flickering? I can fight your flickers all day. Hopefully my opponent did not top deck an answer. That would be bad. We'll probably lose the game if they did. Doesn't look like it. But maybe they have another Snap. No, they have another flicker. Gross. So they're going to get to draw 2 cards here. 2 cards entirely for free. And probably going to put the game out of reach with this. How does my sideboard line up against the things my opponent is doing? Yeah, I don't want to be Geisting or Hydroblasting. I don't see any fragmentized targets. Yeah, I'm liking my choices. So let's brainstorm. We're going to put back an island and an inside out. Going to cast the auger. Willing to send both of those away or just take inside out. Then if I cast the gush, I will send this, draw 4, I'll have to discard 1 to hand size. Is that okay? It's probably okay, because I'm probably going to draw something. I did not draw anything. Alright, just passing the turn, going to discard an island. I think I may be able to use the inside outs to actually kill my opponent's creatures. If they let me. Actually, I probably should have done that there. I should have attacked with everything. Okay, they got the shuffle off of their brainstorm. That much is not good for me. Not at all. I'm noticing the clock here. I'm quite behind. I got the 3rd Radiant Fountain trigger. That life total is very high. Oh no. Yeah, the 2nd Archaeomancer and now the 2nd Flicker. Probably does not want to tap out for the Flicker though. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. I need to draw something real good here. Save me, Preordain. Alright, no, I should have blocked. I should have put the Seagate Oracle on the other side. I don't think it matters. My goal is not to cast the tribe, it's to Giga Drowse them. So I'm hoping they flicker themselves. I can't counter the flicker, I don't make any progress. Oh shoot, but they have Snap. Yeah, this is not really going to work for me, is it? I'm on the verge of conceding here. Because, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would also have to draw. Alright, I'm done with this game. I'm not going to win. My opponents assembled this loop where they can cast spells infinitely, and I cannot beat infinite snaps and pyroblasts. Though they don't actually have a win condition here, but I assume they just bounce all my things and then counter them on the way down. And given that my clock is so much lower than theirs, I don't really want to play that game. So, sideboarding. What do I want to do? I want to win quickly. I also want to have lots of things to fight with. I think I want a 2nd Hydroblast. I can always afford to cut a probe. Often more, because, again, I designed this deck to be able to play the burn matchup and side some out. I will keep this hand, and I'm going to, I think, cast Brainstorm on turn 1. Having the plains is very interesting, so if I hit Tribe, imagine, I would really want to just play it on 2. I know I'm missing the inside out, and I'm missing protection, but I do have lots of protection in my deck. Between the Circular Logics, the Dispels, the Hydroblasts, and even the Dive Down. So given that I don't have any shuffle other than the Augur, I think it makes sense to Brainstorm first. That way, the top 3 cards in my deck are all lands, at least I do get to shuffle 1 away. Or I could just save the Brainstorm for later, but my hand doesn't have enough velocity that I'm confident that that's going to work. I can imagine a scenario where I go Preordain turn 1, I see land, put them on the bottom, and then Augur turn 2, I miss, and then all of a sudden I have Gush and Brainstorm in my hand and I can't do anything. So I think Brainstorming turn 1 will help me avoid that scenario. Ooh, Hydroblast. Definitely not shuffling away the plains, but I can shuffle away anything else. I was secretly hoping my opponent did not play Mountain, as you do not want my Augur to get Pyroed. It looks like they are playing along. I suppose I could just draw the land, and it's not the end of the world. But the Augur is more expensive and really wants to be cast now, so let's do that. There's the Augur. Augur hits Gush and Ponder. I don't need Gush number 2 when I only have 3 lands, so I'll take the Ponder. That was real good. Okay, this is probably my opponent holding up a counterspell. Let me cast Ponder and see what I hit. Probe, Circular Logic, Shadow Rift. I really do want to probe my opponent, so I'm going to sacrifice my draw being slightly worse in order to get this probe in. What you going to do? You going to counter this? I wonder if I should play the plains to try to not get my Preordain countered. Oh geez, next turn they're going to have Counterspell and Preordain. Okay, actually, then I do want to get my Preordain countered. Alright, so I'm going to run this here. I am going to need a Shadow Rift at some point, but not until I have a tribe. So that can wait. And of course, I saw a hand with Brainstorm Fetch Land, so who knows what's going to be in their hand after this. Really hope I hit that tribe soon, because they don't have a lot of lands. I wonder what they shuffle away. Probably shuffle away the Scred. But then as to the other two, I can't say because I didn't see what the cards they drew were. But I have a pretty strong suspicion they shuffled away Scred. I wonder if they have the Seagull Oracle. Because if they have it, they really want to cast it now, unless they think I'm trying to trick them. Because it could totally be that I was setting up to play the tribe, but then I cast Probe, and I saw that they had a counterspell, and I changed my mind. So if their plan is to hold that up and do nothing, then why even keep the Seagate Oracle in your hand? So I would expect Seagate Oracle and Scred are both actually gone. So I'm just going to poke in at my opponent. I have 2 Hydroblasts and a Circular Logic, which are all, kind of awkward. Okay, there's the Scred. I don't care about defending my Augur Bolas, especially not from the red spells. The red mana is very constrained. That's why they made that play there, because the red mana is constrained. And in fact, now they're making the statement that they're not interested in casting red spells, only counterspell, which in itself is kind of interesting. So I'm going to gush, and I really, really hope I find a tribe here, because if I don't, I will be unsatisfied. Hey, hello. That is just what I was looking for. Opponent casts counterspell, or not, or they do, and I hard cast Circular Logic. Pay 6. Now, Tribe comes down. My opponent has Seagate Oracle, Seagate Oracle, Pyroblast, Pyroblast in their hand, and Mountain, and 3 unknowns, and I have Dive Down, Hydroblast to try to protect my Tribe. I guess that having the double Inside Out is also kind of protection, because if they Pyro the first one, then I can get the second one down. I don't know for sure that they have any of those cards, particularly not the Seagate Oracle, which I made the read that they might want to be shuffling away. I don't want to combo, especially not here, because if I cast Inside Out, I can just wait one more turn and then have 3 protection spells up instead of 2. So no way am I comboing here. I'm just going to cast Preordain. Though maybe it would have been worth casting Inside Out. Shadow Rift, Brainstorm. Well, I definitely don't want Brainstorm. Shadow Rift could be good because if my opponent has the Seagate Oracle and sticks it, then I'm really going to want Shadow Rift. I think I am going to keep it for that reason. Because there is a large universe in which it is good. And just poke in for 1 and pass the turn. And then I will think about going off on my next turn. I will also think about cycling an Inside Out, although my opponent probably wants to Pyroblast my Inside Out, so I'm not actually that tempted to do that. So I'm really hoping my opponent just casts a Seagate Oracle or something, and then I just have Hydro plus Dive Down plus Shadow Rift to save me from everything else in their hand. What do you think, opponent? They could also have Snap. I have to remember that Snap is a card in my opponent's deck. Opponent just does nothing. Alright. What do you have, opponent? Opponent has Counterspell, 3 Pyroblasts, and creatures. So they can only cast 2 Pyroblasts. So in fact, the only thing they can fight me over is the Dive Down. And they can cast 3 counters. So if I cast Inside Out, and then Hydro, Dive... No, I can't Hydro, Dive Down. Well, that's annoying. Because I have to actually enable my opponent by casting it. They can't cast 3 Pyroblasts in a turn. But I can't cast 2 Inside Outs and both Hydros. So actually what I want to do is just pass the turn and do it next turn. Because next turn I can cast Inside Out. They Counterspell. I Inside Out again. They Pyro. I Hydro. They Pyro. I Hydro. But I don't have that much mana yet. So I'm going to make this attack and pass the turn. And if they play an Augur or another creature, it doesn't affect my plan that much because I have the Shadow Rift, and then I don't need as much mana because I don't think they can cast Counterspell. Oh, I see. What if they draw a land and then they use that land to cast the Augur? Like a basic island. Izzet Boiler works. Alright, that one is going to put the nail in the coffin. Because now they can cast Hydro counter, but not all at once. And also now I know their whole hand. So their last card is Island. They can cast, counter, Pyro. And I need to discard 4 cards. So, Inside Out. I know their entire hand. I know they cannot cast anything that will require me to Dive Down. If my opponent casts Counterspell, I let the Counterspell resolve, float mana, let them float the mana, and then move on to the next combat phase. Or, not next combat phase, next step of the turn. The ordering really doesn't matter. I'm just kind of nervous in the way that I'm playing. Yeah, So I'm going to let my opponent counterspell my Hydroblast. But I have another Inside Out. And all I have to do is discard 4 cards, so it does not matter. Unfloat your mana. Make the attack. Opponent does not block. I cast Inside Out. I discard 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards, and I win the game. So, there you have it, folks. 4-3 in the challenge with Inside Out. It's quite the powerful deck, but it does have some weak spots, as you saw when I had to face certain black witches. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a good time. If you liked this content, or even if you didn't like it, let me know. Say something in the comments. Let me know you're here and you're watching, and tell me what you want to see from me in terms of content, and tell me how you think I did. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you want to reach me, again, in the comments, or, on Reddit, in the Pauper Discord, lots of good ways to find me. I'm very responsive. And have yourselves a wonderful time.